Hey guys, I have coffee for round 3. It is that type of day. Still going pretty strong here at our first SoCal PC for the first event of the new season. Still love saying that. We have Rolland and Tyler. I love being able to say names for people I'm not familiar with. And on the left side, you're going to see this Conkeldurr, Sableye, Dracovish, Rotom, Heat, Ferrothorn, and Duraludon. I already told Miguel I was going to mess that one up probably at some point, and I've messed up half that team already. On the right side, you've got Charizard, Excadrill, sounds familiar, huh? Gastrodon, everyone's favorite weird slug, Tyranitar, Whimsicott, and Rotom. So a little bit of similar teams from what we saw last game on the right side. Some different things on the left though. Dracovish, obviously made very popular because of the fact that Strong Jaw and Vicious Rend can deal a massive amount of damage thanks to that combination of being able to move first, doubles its base attack power, and Strong Jaw already gives you a boost to bite type moves, which apparently Vicious Rend counts as a bite type move. Who knew? Duraludon, very popular after that Trick Room team kind of came out because Stalwart, its hidden ability, is able to ignore redirecting moves, so Follow Me is completely useless against it. The team on the right side, not gonna have to worry about that as much because of the fact that it doesn't really have any sort of like, it doesn't really have any like redirecting moves here. That is some snazzy cute trainer cards here, guys, super great ones. You're gonna hear me drink this coffee because your girl needs this energy. We are gonna have Charizard and Gastrodon as the lead of choice here for Rolland is what I'm guessing, yep, and then Conkeldurr and Sableye as the lead on Tyler's side. So Conkeldurr, having access to the Iron Fist ability, is going to be able to boost its punching type moves. Sableye, also a prankster Pokemon, not quite as popular as Pokemon in past before. Oh yeah, it's a good. So it is just one of those things where, hey, if you could find a use for it, it's fantastic. Its Mega Evolution from games past did make it a little bit more viable, so seeing it now being used in this format is kind of sort of an uprising in its popularity. Again, Gastrodon, always a fan favorite for people to have. Miguel, you got a question over there. Sorry, yes. And we'll be right there. I'm playing multiple roles at once. That Gigantamax Charizard, we will have to keep an eye out on this one because, again, Gigantamax Charizard is legal, but only if it is blazed. So, might have some issues if this is a solar power one. However, we do see 2 Dynamaxes from the get-go here, so gonna go for heavy hits really fast here. Probably gonna be that Conkeldurr. Fighting type moves with this Pokemon are gonna be made even more devastating. Those stone pillars are gonna want to crush some people's system as soon as this turn is able to go on. Gastrodon and Sableye, Sableye being obviously more supportive. Quash is going to force that Charizard to go last thanks to that prankster. Max Lightning is going to do a massive amount of damage to that Charizard. Gets it almost into the red. Is going to set up electric terrain though, so no Pokemon can be put to sleep this turn. And any Pokemon touching the ground will have their electric type moves boosted. We've got Earth Power going to connect with that Sableye, and it is going to do some okay damage here. Gastrodon not really able to do anything for this. Max Wildfire is going to have an effect for one of the pledges, is going to knock out that Sableye, so don't want it to have anything really hurt it for later on. That Sableye, kind of a smart Pokemon to have on the field. To knock out from the field because it could be actually terrifying. Conkeldurr is burned on this turn. If it's Guts and it got burned, that is an A+ thing for Tyler right now because it's going to double your attack power and make it even more terrifying. Rotom Heat on the field is not touching the ground. Did get an Electric Seed defense raise. That is an interesting combination because normally for the last season we did see the Electric Seed Electric Terrain combination, but with Tapu Koko, which obviously is not allowed in this generation at all, it has been denied at the Galar borders. And I mean, it's kind of cool to still see it in action here, so could be really good for Tyler. Again, if that Conkeldurr happens to have Guts, we do not see that ability for it yet. Max Airstream gonna connect with the Conkeldurr. Does not get the knockout though, but will raise the speed of both that Charizard and that Gastrodon on Rolland's side of the field. Gastrodon, typically a slow Pokemon, so it's going to be pretty interesting to see how it's going to work here. Rotom going after that Charizard with that Thunderbolt will pick up the knockout here with that like little bit of HP left. So we are going to see that Charizard faint. It is It was able to do some damage to get that +1 for the from the max airstream. However, now that Conkeldurr is also going to go down for its troubles from that Earth Power from Gastrodon. So kind of an interesting trade here with both Dynamax Pokemon taken out. This Gastrodon hasn't taken any sort of damage at all. Could be a little bit of problem later on for Tyler if he doesn't respect the fact that it could be a Pokemon that could disrupt him pretty badly. We do see Ferrothorn and that Duraludon in the back. Dracovish here going to be a little bit tough to bring in for any water type moves because Storm Drain will redirect and help Gastrodon. So did see that rise in popularity for it after Dracovish's own rise because of the fact that Storm Drain will redirect that kind of terrifying Vicious Rend. Whimsicott out on the field now for us, but for Ferrothorn, always a delight to see on any sort of battlefield. As long as I don't see another Ferrothorn on the other side of the field. But 2 grass type Pokemon here, 1 steel and 1 fairy, and Rolland has the option to go for his own practice moves. Does have a +1 on his Gastrodon because of that max airstream from the Charizard from earlier. Whimsicott able to set up or just go for straight attacks. It does again have access to Prankster, which will give itself priority moves here. Gastrodon going for the Protect. Not gonna want to get hit by something like, I don't know, a grass type move. Whimsicott using Encore, so it's gonna lock that Rotom into Thunderbolt, and Rotom going for the Thunderbolt into Whimsicott. So not exactly the move you really want to see it get locked into. Does also pick up the paralysis here on Roland's Whimsicott. It's going to hurt that Whimsicott later on. Ferrothorn not able to hit that Power Whip due to that Gastrodon is going to take that damage from the earlier G-Max Wildfire. So some things still happening here. Tyler's not quite out of it yet. Rolland is in a little bit of a pickle thanks to the fact that his Whimsicott is paralyzed. This Gastrodon has to worry about the Ferrothorn and that Power Whip being used right now. Ferrothorn actually going for Protect instead, so that Gastrodon is free to see another day if it needs to. Ooh, Whimsicott getting hit by that paralysis on this turn as Rotom goes for the Thunderbolt. Again, Encore into from the previous turn. Whimsicott just taking that like a champ still though, as Gastrodon goes for a Scald, connects with the Rotom, so that Ferrothorn actually could have been free to go for the Power Whip if it had chosen to. Might have been one of those things where if you're Tyler, you're sitting there being like, I should have just gone for it, but hey, you live and you let learn, right? But both Pokemon on either side have taken considerable damage for at least one Pokemon, Gastrodon and Ferrothorn. Still sitting pretty nicely here. We might just actually see sort of like a Protect exchange, but no, sorry, that is Charm now from Whimsicott, lowering that attack harshly on the Ferrothorn. Not something you see every day, as Thunderbolt does connect again once more into that Whimsicott. The Encore should end sometime soon. Whimsicott is now in that position to be able to eat its berry, gain back a little bit of HP, and hope it doesn't get affected by that Thunderbolt, that paralysis next turn, as Whimsicott goes down on this turn. Rotom goes down on this turn from the Scald and Gastrodon. And Roland might actually have a chance to like bring this back. Power Whip is going to be, 1, negated a little bit by that Charm, and 2, that berry on Gastrodon, that Rindo berry, lowest damage from super effective grass type moves for at least 1 time. So that Gastrodon, it took that extremely well, and that Gastrodon space is just looking at this Ferrothorn like, you cannot touch me right now. And Whimsicott, sure, a little bit slowed down, has a chance to like not move this turn, but it's still able to do some damage. And now, in some way, this Ferrothorn has to figure out how to get rid of that Whimsicott, that Gastrodon, and whatever Pokemon Rolland has in the back. We do see another Charm, so this Ferrothorn is going to be at -4 attack. That Power might not actually do anything at all, as Scald could possibly get the burn on this turn into that Ferrothorn, which would lower its attack even more. Oh, yeah, oops. I am, like, 0 for 2 right now on, 2 for 2 right now on calling those secondary effects. As the paralysis gonna go into, they're kind of just shrugging shoulders at each other. I mean, one got paralyzed, one got burned. You know, either way, like, we've got RNG at immense work here, like it has been all day. I still have not drank this coffee at all, sorry. Oh, that tastes so good. Ferrothorn is burned right now, so it also hurts its attack a little bit. We do get an Encore again from Whimsicott, so did see most of its move here. As Earth Power from Gastrodon is going to connect. No need to go for the Scald again because it did already manage to burn this Ferrothorn. As Gyroba. This, you know what? I cannot say that move name for the life of me. That super effective damage did literally nothing. We saw that move inch by slow, agonizing inch for that Whimsicott's HP drop. It is essentially at -5 to like -6 on its attack right now. If Rolland had any hope of going back against of bringing a comeback, it kind of ends with this final charm, which is going to put it to essentially at -6. It's going to do absolutely nothing unless you have critical hits. Earth Power is going to happen here again. Gyro Ball. Still not going to do that much of that Whimsicott. It is just, it's almost kind of sad to see how slowly that attack drops that HP. Frauthorn might have that chance to like recover with leftovers, but at the end of the day, the burn and the -6 from the charm is going to make sure this is Ferrothorn. It literally can't do anything. I mean, there's the charm again, but the attack won't go any lower. Rolland is just choosing not to show his last Pokemon here, as Earth Power is going to put this Ferrothorn into red. Gyro Ball again, because of that Encore from earlier, going to hit that Whimsicott. Is almost, I was going to say finally get into the red, not quite there. There's that leftovers recovery and then burn recovery again. So I mean, Rolland is holding on tight and being like, you know what, I'm not going to show you anything else. I'm just going to keep these two Pokemon out on the field, and I mean, I guess Tyler, you know, maybe it's not over till it's over, but this Hawthorne looks like it's on its last weird looking leg things. It's going to get encored again and is going to be forced into that Gyro Ball one more time, as Earth Power will connect and finally pick up the knockout here, giving game 1 to Rolland. So pretty interesting stuff happening here. We did see that Gigantamax Charizard, which for anyone who's finished the game, you do receive one from former champion Leon in his house. It is a Charmander with the ability to Gigantamax into that Charizard. And so you've also got the Conkeldurr, which we didn't like really see do much. It did manage to at least get like one attack off. Sableye showed off that Quash. We did see the Electric Seed combination with the Max Lightning show up. So some fun stuff that's been like happening between like interactions of Pokemon. I mean, did not see that Dracovish at all, because again, Gastrodon kind of makes it so that you are forced to not bring it. Like, even the idea or threat of it makes it so that Gastrodon, which was sitting on the field the entire time, is one of those Pokemon that can stare you down with those like weird lifeless eyes and be like, yeah, you can bring a water type Pokemon like Dracovish, but it will do nothing to me and it'll be fine. So I think right now, if you're Tyler, it's going to be a little bit tough to maneuver around this, right? You've got Pokemon that, as a whole, could work really well, but Rolland has the one Pokemon that can put a stop to, like, the powerhouse on that team, and that is that dang Gastrodon. I can hear its cry in my head despite not hearing the in-game music, and it is a sad thing to think about, but I mean, what are you going to do to try to stop this Gastrodon? I mean, you could bring out the Frauthorn really early on, go for the Power Whips, but now you have to also worry about that Whimsicott. It's got that Prankster, and so it has priority on Charm, and we've seen Charm just sort of negate all the damage Frauthorn does. If you can predict the Power Whips correctly and get your Protects right, and call whenever you can get that that Charm out, you'll be sitting pretty there with that Gastrodon and can just Earth Power all day long. So, I think you could try to bring Duraludon out here. You've got an interesting typing with it. Dynamaxing it would be a really cool thing too. You could go for like the Max Steel Spikes potential here. You could get rid of that Whimsicott ahead of time. The biggest problem is you need to figure out some way to make it so that Gastrodon doesn't just completely stop your team. Like, if you want to bring Dracovish with you, sure, you can do that. But you have to make sure that that Gastrodon is not there to stop you from just kind of steamrolling the other side with that Pokemon. So right now, kind of the mindset for either of these guys is, how do we change things around? And the answer kind of is that you don't really. We have Conkeldurr and Sableye as the same lead for Tyler, and we've got Charizard and Gastrodon as the same lead now for Rolland. So we know that Sableye has Quash. It can make any Pokemon on Rolland's side go last. So I think Rolland was correct in identifying that Prankster Sableye was a little bit of a bigger threat and maybe needed to be stopped before anything else. We could see that double Dynamax again like we did last time. So also pretty important to note that both of them went for the Dynamax. We only saw one turn from both Pokemon before they were knocked out, which kind of rare to see, I would like to say. I mean, getting like at least 1 or 2 moves out before the Dynamax Pokemon gets knocked out is a lot more common to have happen. We will see Rolland again going for the Dynamaxing on his side first, so I can have a little bit of a faster Pokemon here. It is going to be that Gigantamax. Yes, Gigantamax Charizard. Really cool design there. Is going to have access to that G-Max Wildfire, which will make it so that your opponents get caught in sort of like this raging fiery vortex on the field for any Pokemon that are fire types, obviously. And we will kind of have a mirror of what happened in that first game in turn 1. We're going to have that Keldor going to go for the Dynamax again as well. So we did see it use Max Lightning and set up Electric Terrain for an Electric Seed Rotom in the back. So could see the same thing happen again, go for a Quash and a Max Lightning. There we go, that Quash gonna go for that Charizard and gonna go for I'm gonna make sure so that Charizard goes last. Max Knuckle instead of Max Lightning though is gonna go after that Gastrodon. So Tyler going like, hey, you know what, forget this Gastrodon, we're gonna get this thing out. Its attack is gonna go up and so is Sableye, but I think this Gastrodon is being kind of seen more of a threat now, as Sableye is gonna get hit with Earth Power first now from that Gastrodon. Again, Quash making that Charizard go last, and there we go, G-Max Wildfire one more time going straight into the Sableye. So a little bit of a change now here from Tyler. Instead of going for the Max Lightning into that Charizard, went for the Max Knuckle into Gastrodon. Will be able to get that +1 attack, and oh sorry, it was Flame Orb that burned it. My bad, guys, I totally gave you wrong information in game 1. So it is Guts come Keldor, so its attack is essentially a lot more terrifying because it's that +1 attack from Max Knuckle and add even more attack thanks to Guts. So Ferrothorn gonna join us on the field one more time instead of that Rotom from before. So a little bit of a change here from Tyler. He is changing his strategy just a little bit from what we saw earlier. I think he's going to go for that Gastrodon again because another Max Knuckle will knock it out. We've got that +1 from the attack and that Guts ability going to help it even more. I mean, I guess if you're looking at this Charizard, you could think to yourself, yeah, I could save it for later, but then why would you bring Ferrothorn out on the field for that? So maybe I am like reading too much into that one right now, but I think Rolland still has kind of like the right idea. He's sitting a lot better here. I'm going to be really careful for his Gastrodon, at least as Ferrothorn hides behind that Protect, will still take damage if it gets hit by a Max Wildfire. Instead, Max Airstream from Rolland's side of the field goes into that Conkeldor, almost picks up the knockout, but not quite. 22 HP left, meaning that Conkeldor has at least one more move in it. And both Charizard though and that Gastrodon have a +1 to their HP, and Earth Power is going to pick up that knockout on the Conkeldor. So again, Ferrothorn choosing to protect at the at a time where it hurt it the most, like we saw in game 1. Will get burned on this. Will get hurt by those G-Max Wildfire Flames. We'll get a little bit of HP back, but Ferrothorn is here. Whatever the last Pokemon Tyler has, if it's that Dracovish, that Gastrodon's like, you know what? I managed to attack you first, and there we go. There is that Dracovish, and it is gonna be. If you're that Gastrodon, that smile of yours, despite the soulless eyes you have, you're cheering on the inside because, hey, you know what? You can Storm Drain any of those water type moves away. And I will say, like, I think Tyler's strategy in trying to go for the Gastrodon was correct here. And it's hard to tell whether or not somebody's going to go for you for Ferrothorn. Gastrodon's going to be like, I'm going to protect myself because why shouldn't I for this one? As Ferrothorn going for Protect is a double Protect, but it will fail here. G-Max Wildfire is going to connect with the Ferrothorn behind the Protect and will pick up that knockout very easily. It is a Gigantamax Pokemon, and Ferrothorn is 4 times weak to it, so not really super surprising. Dracovish going for a Rock Slide, not going to connect with Gastrodon, but will connect with that Charizard. Does 4 times damage as well. However, not quite as much damage enough to knock it out. Dracovish is looking at us in awe that it has to take care of all 4 Pokemon on Rolland's side of the field. And I mean, hey, now that Charizard is at its regular health now, might be a possibility. However, both Gastrodon and Charizard still have a +1 to their speed from the previous Max Airstream that Gigantamax Charizard did use. So still can't use any water type moves until this Gastrodon gets knocked out. You could go for, oh, there's that Dragon Pulse, going to be super effective damage here into that Dracovish. I think it is a Dragonfish. Yep. That would make sense. So Dracovish is going to get knocked out from that Dragon Pulse, giving the game and the round to Rolland here. So that was kind of a fun thing to watch. We know that that I guess fossil Pokemon has been growing in popularity, and in turn. Cheers.